Management Committee on the 3rd of June. It's just gone 11 o'clock. Have we got any Sederunt apologies, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Currently 5 members present. We have 2 apologies from Councillors Mail and Councillor Prentice. Thank
you very much. I'll just remind members that this meeting will be recorded and open for public to hear. Is there any declarations of interest? No? Okay, thank you. The minute of the meeting of 29th of March 2015, is that an accurate copy? Agreed, thank you very much. Okay, on to item 4, which is Director End of Year Assessment of Business Plan Performance for DGFirst 2015-16. Overall, the Director's assessment is that DGFirst has delivered the objectives set out in the DGFirst Business Plan, with the majority of key performance indicators and projects on target. Appendix 1 contains a summary of performance with exception reports at Appendices 3 and 4, and the report also contains health and safety information in Appendix 2, and it is good to see good progress on the action plan and a lower number of reportable incidents. Do you want to add anything, Alistair?
Yeah, just to add, Chair, I think this demonstrates a good performance throughout the year. 89% of the performance indicators are positive. There are exception reports at the back of the report, as the Chair has indicated, that are both positive and cover the negative aspects, and these positive ones indicate that we've outperformed certain indicators, and really the staff have to be congratulated on that target. So nothing to add, Chair, further than that, other than to say we have Ronnie, Ian and Caroline here to answer any detailed questions that members may have. Thank you.
Members, any questions? Ivor?
Chair, I don't know if it's a question, maybe more a point just to keep your eye on. With regard to the street cleansing, where it's within tolerable standards, I notice it's just 0.2 or something below where it should be, but just earlier today we were at McClue Street and we walked up through the town centre, and it is noticeable that the amount of bird droppings from our friends the seagulls are plastered everywhere, and the streets are starting to look more and more like a midden. Not rubbish, maybe litter, but everywhere you go there's bird droppings and they're not getting washed away. Maybe it's dry weather as well, it's causing a problem, but I think if we could do something to maybe address that.
I'm sure Ronnie will take that on board and talk to the staff. Obviously that will come under communities when we go to the new directorate there, and we'll make sure that that is actually discussed with them to ensure that, I think the street scene discussion that they're having there will bring that into account as well. David?
Just to follow on for that, actually, around about the bus stops and that in Burnstati Square, as well as Burnstati, Ivor indicated, absolutely filthy. You can hardly find a clean bit to put your feet on the pavement. So they could do with something that can wash the pavement. Really, really bad. And as I say, it's a tourist area. Really, you could do it.
Yeah, I understand that, and you're raising it today here, Davey, but you know that type of issue should be discussed straight with the department to get something done about that. And as I said, Ronnie will take that forward with the department and hopefully get something done about it pretty quick. Okay, Craig, you want to come in?
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple of points on the exception reports reference to member inquiries. I see that we're down on the value that we had in the last report in the last year, and it's just a question as to see whether that is because we've had an increase in the actual inquiry numbers coming to the department, or to find out another reason why we're actually down on the previous year. And the second point regarding the exception report for the ICT development, I'm sure you're aware, Chair, that this has been an issue that we've been at numerous amounts of meetings for with the roads department, and telling us that this is going to be online, it's going to be working, we're just about there, we just need a little more time, we're testing it, etc., etc. 4 years down the line, this programme still hasn't come to fruition. And apart from the fact that I think it would be a very worthwhile programme to help members and officers alike for the roads department, I'm starting to now get a wee bit concerned about, because it's taken so long, because there's so many delays, because as the exception reports, there's various issues going on there. That surely has got to put some sort of budget pressure on that particular item, and I'm just got a question about, you know, what the budget pressure is in that. Are we likely to see this coming to fruition within this council term, or an update on that, please?
Ronnie?
Thank you, Chair. In relation to your first question, yes, it's the volume and demand that has increased, and we're very conscious that we haven't hit the target, and we are putting steps and measures in place to improve that performance to elected members, to ensure that you get the timely responses within the due time scales. And I'm hoping as we move forward in the new directorate, we'll be able to show a significant improvement to the members in relation to the responses. Yep.
Just before we move on to the next one, I fully understand if you're getting an increase in inquiries coming through. Therefore, is there maybe a higher percentage of them which require a more detailed answer, you know, to take a longer response? Is that part of the issue as well?
Absolutely. As questions come in now have various forms of complexity, and it's just ensuring that it's not just a simple glib answer. We want to give as much and as forthright detail as possible to the members, so that you, in representing your communities, have the full breadth of knowledge that allows you to give that detail. So rather than just saying the pothole has been dealt with, we want to give a reason. If there's other programme of works and other activities, as an example, we need to make sure that that type of detail is built into all the responses, but we are taking steps to ensure that's dealt with. In relation to the ICT, it has been challenging. There has, I have to say, a lot of good progress been done, particularly in relation to Total Mobile. Some of the current issues in relation to the road rollout of the mobile working, we have had some challenges in relation to the bandwidth that is coming into the depots that is causing the problem, and we are in discussions with our colleagues in technology solutions to ensure that that is resolved as quickly and as timely as possible. They are assuring us that they are on it, and they will have that some options for us in due course. There has been some challenges in supply in relation to equipment coming through as well. The tablets being ordered, and there's been changes in specifications, and not through from the operational side, but in relation to the supplier that supplies the council. So that has added to it. So the passion, the drive in relation to ICT is there to push this forward, but we need some of the technical expertise behind and the systems just to bring that all together. So it is a priority, particularly as we move forward with the Enterprising Council, to ensure the technology is there to help and support the services. So this is one that will be getting taken forward, and with the support of the Director, we'll be ensuring that's implemented as soon as possible, and definitely within this term of this Council.
I think just to help that, I think would be an idea that, you know, when the enterprise and subcommittee actually forms, that we have a report back as soon as possible to make sure that goes forward, and we'll have that in the recommendations for this particular committee, if that's okay.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ronnie. And I do understand the issues, but I'm sure you'll understand as well. It's frustrating for everybody within the council, not just members. I'm sure officers are frustrated as well. But we were at a business plan seminar for corporate services a couple of weeks ago, and the IT were there giving us their sort of business plan going forward for the department. And I was again asking a similar sort of question on the ICT side of it through the corporate side of the council. And they are saying that they are drastically under-resourced within the department. And so that again rings some alarm bells. You know, they have such a huge workload on with the channel change shift that's going on through the council as well, and this type of programme that DGFirst are trying to move forward. And if the ICT department are under pressure because of the resources, it just sometimes makes you wonder, well, how prioritised are various projects going forward, you know, and who therefore prioritises what, where therefore they're going to put the manpower in. So, you know, I think as DGFirst or as Enterprise and Council going forward, I think we need to try and push the ICT department to make sure that this is one of the priorities.
Perhaps I can ask Alistair to take it to the next CMT and see, you know, raise it saying that there is some priority to go forward with the ICT side of things. Because it's not just about Enterprise and Council, it's about the whole of the council, making sure that the resources are available for all the projects going forward. Okay. Stephen and then Alistair.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it was just on the back of Councillor Peacock's questions there. It's another interest that I share as well, just in terms of the EMES performance and ICT. I think just on the exception report, obviously the due date was 31st of March for this being completion, so we're way past that, obviously. And there has been a history, and we've attended various seminars and introductions at area committee, various other places over the past few years. It saddens me to say. And one, I suppose, on the channel shift issue, where does this actually fit into the overall channel shift strategy in terms of the one council approach to things? Obviously, this is departmental in terms of total mobile, sort of people who are actually on the street, literally. But it makes it look like we don't know what we're doing when it comes to this, because we've had 4 years at it effectively, and we still seem to be pushing back deadlines. Are we resourcing it properly? Where's the leadership coming from? Is it corporate, or is it within now going to be EEI, as it were, or Enterprise and Council within EEI? So I think that sort of clarity would be good for members to see, so we can measure corporately and departmentally or by directorate where the projects are and what transformation of work methods actually looks like. How do we know when we're there? Because we don't really get that sense of progress, even though we know things are being trialled and tested. So I think that would be helpful. The other question, though, that hasn't been touched on is the percentage of days lost per employee. And I don't know if you're going to be speaking about this anyway, Chair, but there's two things about this. Page 18, it's got the increased confidence that we're capturing more absences and recording it better within iTrent. Now, that's encouraging, but then I'm wondering, well, have we been getting under-reported figures in the past, and to what extent would that be? Because it's still more than we'd like it to be. And the second thing is, the figures seem to be going up. That's worrying, because they're already way over target, and I know there's a bit of narrative there explaining things, and we can all probably anecdotally grasp things to do with stress and changing the transformation of the council, as it were. But still, it's an upward trend. How seriously are we dealing with this? Because our strategies and initiatives don't seem to be working, or they're not turning it around. So how can we improve that?
Ronnie?
Thank you, Chair. Absence from the service is one of the key priorities to manage through. Without these people being at work, we don't have the ability to deliver and to operate the services. So we take absence management particularly important in trying to find ways to improve and continually improve the process. There are peaks and troughs. The figures that are presented within the DGFirst end-of-year report encapsulate all the services, including care and facilities, which are all moving from the new Enterprise and Council. What we've looked at is to pilot an initiative working with the Council's occupational health provider to have a person in for a period of time working within the service to review the longer term absence information. A lot of these, as you'll see, will cover surgery-related incidents and their stress and other key activities. But we're targeting at both ends, both the longer term, the open-ended absence, and the short term, dare I say, the old dreaded scenarios of the Friday, Monday scenarios to ensure that we maximise the attendance time at work of all our employees. And there are pockets of areas that we really have to build upon and build that working relationship, and working with our colleagues in the joint trade unions. We're all pulling that together to ensure that we can maximise the benefits. So we are taking it very seriously. We have an occupational health provider in on a pilot period just now, working with us to try and target this information. We have very detailed information behind that, and I'm more than happy. There's no confidentiality. This is numbers. We can share and show members the type of activity we do, how we break it down in each of the operational services so that we can see where the problems are, how we tackle the return to work interviews, the process of discussion with the employees to ensure that is there anything that we can do to help them as much as they can help us. So all that has been built into the process. There are some other elements that we are looking to develop that we can report separately. Those are particularly in the kitchen staff and the catering side, where there is, if they're off, there's mandatory times that they have to be clear before they can return to their work. So we're building more and more information up statistically so we can manage it and convey and report that to elected members in a way that gives you comfort that we are endeavouring and working collectively as one council to manage and improve the sickness absence record.
And can you answer the one about the ICT on the back of what Councillor Peacock said?
On the back of the ICT, it has been one of the challenges, and we've done a lot ourselves within DGFirst. We've done it collectively with the council as corporate initiatives, and we are trying to work all the ICT developments as one council. So we will take it forward, I'm sure, through Alistair's support at the corporate management team, the priority of this, and it's, as I say, it's built into our commercial development plan. The need for ICT to be at the forefront of our service is pivotal to ensure that this department and the service is a success.
Can I just say that I'm also on the Healthy Working Lives group, which is piloting as part of DGFirst, is actually part of that particular group, and also HR as well. So you can imagine the HR being the support services for those that are on, sickness absence. And it's only just really started the pilot scheme, and this is in the main aim is to ensure that when we go through this massive change, that people feel confident they can forward and not get any undue pressure put upon them. And the reason I'm on it is because of what happened where I used to work, and we had a very successful SWIFT group, Stress Working Information Team type group there, and I'm there. There is an opportunity to get a gold award out of it for the healthy working life side of things, and we've got partners, NHS, third sector, private sector coming in to help us as well. So it's all about that. It's very early stages at this particular time on that thing, but I can see a lot of benefits, for instance, where people are actually going to be going out walking at dinner time to get away from the computer links, and getting some decent circulation going, as opposed to sitting beside that computer screen and giving ourselves headaches. But Alistair, you want to speak on this?
Yes, Chair. I think members are absolutely correct to be focused on this and concerned about this. I think members who attended the EEI business plan seminar during the week, I did highlight this point as being one of the key areas that my management team will be concentrating on in the new EEI directorate. And Ronnie's support, and I certainly echo everything that Ronnie has said. This is an area we have to address. Our staff are the most important asset that we have, and we have to really address what the issues are and work with the unions. It's essential that we work in partnership with the unions and all the staff to get these figures down, to get them within target.
Thank you, Alistair.
Thank you, Chair. I've got a couple of points about the exception reports. Maybe I don't know if you want me to pause after my first one and then I'll go to the next one. The first one, I'll go with the brief one first then, and then while you still got the patience.
We'll just go for the two together then, if it's only two.
Okay, right. Well, page 16, the exception report regarding absence, I just wanted Stephen's touched on it. I just want some clarification for somebody who's not very sure about what this means. In the paragraph below the red lights, the one below again, DGFirst is above target. The rate includes mandatory absence. Now, I heard a bit about mandatory absence, and I thought, don't understand what that means. Something in it.
Can I answer that one? Because basically, if there's catering staff, for instance, who have sickness, diarrhea, that type of thing, they have to take an extra couple of days off until they are well enough to go back and work at the food industry. All right.
But what confused me, Chair, was the fact that later on it started talking about outdoors, and I thought some of our staff have to work outdoors in inclement weather. So that's what threw me there.
You've got manual workers, road workers, street cleaners, all that type of thing.
Right, thank you. Then it says further down, increased confidence that we are capturing more absences. I don't understand that. I thought you would recognise if somebody was there or not there. So how can you capture? You're going to answer that one too, Chair. Very gracious of you.
I think that comes back to the healthy working life side of things, Alistair, and where people would normally take maybe a day's leave, where they were feeling stressed or things like that. What we're finding under the healthy working life side of things are people are more open to come forward and say, I've got a lot of workplace pressure on me, so therefore I'm taking a day's absence and sick. That's why they're capturing more. And what we need to do as an organisation is manage that workplace pressure before it gets to stress, because they're two totally different things. And I think capturing that is the right thing early doors, because if we manage it properly, then we will see a reduction in absence levels through the healthy working life side of things. And if we can get that support in the workplace rather than at the GPs and things like that, then people will feel more better coming to work and raising the issues there with the line managers. So I think that's why we're capturing more, is that people would have maybe took a day's leave as opposed to a day's sick because of the workplace pressure that they're under.
I'm obliged to you, Chair. Thank you. The other one was regarding EMES system on page 20. Obviously, you go to a member goes to the EMES system, like me, and still not totally au fait around the council. You get a menu of possibilities. It's area, say Nithsdale, Annandale, Eskdale. In my case, I prefer go to Nithsdale, but there's also a DGFirst option as well. So sometimes it's difficult for non-specialist members to identify which one we go to. Should there not be a one-stop shop in this case?
Alistair?
Very valid point, and I think that's something we will take forward as a recommendation as we move to the new department, that we have the ability for clear reporting lines by elected members rather than having any conflict or ambiguity, and that may have caused some of the previous issues in relation to us not hitting targets as well, that things may have fallen between tables. So take that point on board, and we will review that with our colleagues.
Yeah, I would assume that the DGFirst option was put in to try and be more and more helpful, to be as helpful as possible, getting these complaints direct to the front face, if you like. But certainly, going forward, there will be no DGFirst per se, and I would imagine it would go back to the 4 areas. But that's something that I'll take up with Ronnie. That's a very good point, actually. Thanks for pointing that out.
Okay, can we go to the record? Sorry, Ivan.
Chair, it was just on, find it again. It was Appendix 2, I think. It was good to note that all the indicators on health and safety work are at green. I think there was 1 or 2 that were at amber the last time, or maybe it was a different committee I saw it, but it's good to see that, and let's hope we maintain those.
Thanks for that. Can we go to the recommendations then? 2.1, review of the overall summary of performance for DGFirst, Appendix 1. 2.2, review the overall summary performance for the Department of Health and Safety Action Plan. And I think to add in there our congratulations to the group for bringing it down. And 2.3, scrutinise the exception report in Appendix 3 and 4, considering whether the action proposed are adequate to improve performance in future monitoring areas which have not met the target. and recognise here a good practice high performance where the target has been exceeded. I think we'll add in there that the ICT should go forward to a standard agenda item for the Enterprise and DGFirst subcommittee, making sure that that goes forward, if that's okay with everyone. Okay, thank you very much. We'll go on to item 5 then, Enterprise and DG Commercial Development Plan. This is the draft commercial development plan, and it demonstrates our council's commitment to developing and delivering an enterprise service within the council. Members will have received an email after the original with changes to pages 5 and 26. This enterprise and service, Enterprise and D&G, will operate within the new Economy, Environment and Infrastructure Directorate and will deliver for the council. It will deliver a Centre for Excellence for Enterprise and Services, which will work across the whole council to increase our commercial focus. Through this more commercial focus and increased level of activity, a platform on which to build our region's economy, where we work side by side within our region's small and medium-sized businesses to deliver real and sustainable economic growth. A surplus which will be available for reinvestment in the service or to support other priority frontline services, and to underpin that delivery, a streamlined management structure bringing together complementary services. The management structure detailed within the plan at Appendix 1 provides clear strategic direction on the key services and activities required to generate additional income for our council as we move forward. And members are asked to note the draft Enterprise and DG Commercial Development Plan and management structure aligned to support and deliver the Commercial Development Plan. The Enterprise and DG Commercial Development Plan will be scrutinised by the Business Transformation Steering Group on Monday the 6th of June and presented to EE&I Infrastructure Committee on the 14th of June 2016 for approval. Ronnie, do you want to add anything to this?
Thank you, Chair. Hopefully, members, the document conveys the proposals to move forward with the new enterprising Dumfries and Galloway group for the council's commercial activity and business service delivery across all services. It looks to build the local economy by developing and delivering a range of high quality, value for money, entrepreneurial services in partnership with the small and medium enterprises. I think that's key and pivotal to this document. This is working in partnership with the local businesses to allow them opportunities and avenues to business that major contracts perhaps preclude them because of the way procurement across Scotland now operates. It allows us to support the economy and support these organisations and have them grow with us in delivering these services, both in Dumfries and Galloway and perhaps in time wider afield from Dumfries and Galloway. And it sets us a clear direction as well to work with the elected members. And I think this is, again, another key element is working with both the EI committee and the new enterprising subcommittee, where there is a greater ability to have constructive and needed discussion with you as elected members in the direction of travel and how the operations and the business development can be scrutinised in a robust and open way. And all that links into the management structure that has been developed in conjunction with the director to allow this service to grow and meet some of the challenges about creating additional income for our council. So I'm happy to take any questions, Chair.
Alistair, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And I think this is a very important next step forward in the council's reshaping. We did touch on this plan at our business plan seminar during the week, where this commercial development plan will sit below the EEI business plan, but high performance KPIs will be set in our business plan to reflect the EEI business plan to reflect this commercial plan. This is really the first group of members that have seen the draft plan, so your comments today will be extremely welcomed. As Ronnie and the Chair have alluded, this will go forward to the Business Steering Group next week into EEI on the 14th. It also is another big step forward in finalising our structure within the new EEI Directorate. It's the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and it will allow us to move forward and complete our matching processes to get the various managerial posts in place. That will set us up and allow us to be really starting off on our journey for the future on the 1st of July. I'm very hopeful that day will be.
Obviously, there was a slight amendment to the draft plan, which came with pages 6 and sorry, page 5 and 26. On page 5, what could we do at the first bullet point in the second line? I take it together with our power to advance well-bring should be well-being, being the scrutiny of the committee. Members, have you got any questions? Craig?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I appreciate this is the first sighting that members have had of the plan, and I've read through it, and I'm very encouraged by a lot of what is within the plan, and I'm fully supportive of Enterprise and Council going forward, and the Enterprise and Department moving forward to produce a surplus to this council that we can reinvest within our services. I've always been a believer that the council should be able to act as a business and therefore generate income for itself. I've always been a believer in that, and I'm very pleased to see that we're at this stage with this council now moving forward. I've got a couple of points within the plan. On page 7 in particular, what should we do? The statements that we have there, you know, our turnover will increase. We're talking about a 12% increase in turnover there. Income will increase by 38%, and therefore what we return into the council, we're planning on a 75% increase in that. Now, these are very ambitious statements, I would think, to say at the least. I mean, considering the overall UK growth of about sort of 1.5% to 2%, and the growth over the last 2 years in the UK as a whole has sometimes been a negative growth and sat round about zero for many years during the recession that we had. So although I welcome it, I'm just a wee bit concerned that we're maybe over ambitious on our growth figures, and I'd like to know what sort of evidence that we have behind that. It's just, I'm fully supportive of it, Chair, and I'm fully supportive of it going forward. I'm just a little bit concerned that if we're over ambitious in the figures we put in the plan, then at a later date or 2 and 3 years down the line, we can be held to account for that. So if it's just to see, have we got, or where is the evidence to say that we are going to grow by 38%? I mean, I think that's a staggering amount.
Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Do you want to come back on that?
Thank you, Chair. We've spent a lot of time reviewing primarily the external trading activity business, the profiles that of the turnover that has been coming into the council, and the numbers that are placed within this document reflect what we currently see within the market of what growth is out there for us to go into based on robust knowledge of the commercial opportunities that we're working to just now. I accept they are challenging. They have to be challenging to make this a viable business. But I have some very strong confidence based on the information that we are reviewing in relation to our customer base and the tendering opportunities and other business opportunities that are coming forward, both locally and from neighbouring authorities. These figures, whilst challenging, can be achieved. And again, as we move forward the plan, we're more than happy through the enterprising subcommittee that we can develop and build that knowledge to the elected members on where we're looking at business growth and opportunities that is going to be beneficial to our service.
Craig, do you want to come back?
Thank you, Chair. And just following on from that as well, if we had to expand at the growth as predicted there, how are we going to be able to deliver that expansion? i.e. we're going to have to increase staffing numbers significantly. If a business has grown by 40%, then that will incur increases in staffing depending on the type of work involved, because I know that through the enterprise and we're covering a vast range of services here, and as Ronnie has pointed out, maybe going into some new commercial activities that this council has not done in the past. So therefore we won't have the experience within the staffing that we currently have within the department to cope with that. So if we are looking to increase the staff to cover these eventualities, are they likely to be taken on because it is the council that employs the staff, not the enterprise and part of the council? They would become council staff members. And therefore, would they be looked to be taken on a short-term contract or a fixed-term contract, so that moving forward, if that work decreases, as we've seen in the construction industry, for example, over the past few years, where the workload has dropped away significantly, if we're left with those staff, that could become a pressure to the department and the council as a whole. So just to see how we are looking to handle that type of situation.
My own opinion is that obviously, and I'll let Ronnie come in and answer that type of thing, but very much a surveying type of business. We will manage the CDM of contracts and things like that, but we will subsidise, because what we want to make sure is that the small and medium enterprises, Dumfries and Galloway, get the chance to get work on behalf of the council, but get things as well. But I'll ask Ronnie to.
Thank you, Chair. I absolutely agree with the Chair's comments. And I would use the example on page 11 with the recent Agnew Park project. That conveys the sort of model that we wish to operate. I've made it clear to our director that this is not about Enterprise and DG taking over the world. This is about Enterprise and DG helping and supporting the local economy. And as the examples show with these recent contracts, 85% of that business was delivered by local contractors. It's allowing these contractors into the market that they would be cut off from because of the nature of the size, and whether that comes down to a 1-2-man painting family or to some of the local larger firms, construction firms. It's about helping and supporting them to get business and activity. There may well be times that we necessitate having additional resources aligned to contract management or site management for a period of time. We have always operated those types of roles on fixed term durations, so that we can either bring agency staff in to cover that activity, or we bring people in on short term contracts to the council. And that would continue, but that would only be done in conjunction with the finance officer approval that the financial model is met, and with the full knowledge of the director. And this is not about making the workforce expand exponentially to take all this business on. It is very, very much about how we can work in partnership with our partner contractors to win this work, to bring income to these small businesses, but also bring a return to ourselves as the council and develop that. So it's about that partnership rather than us creating a monster that it would not be the best way to go in relation to the business. And that's how we plan to take this forward.
Sorry, Chair, thanks for the indulgence. I actually welcome and support that approach. Within the comments that I'm making, I'm not being negative, Chair. I'm just scrutinising what we're having before us and want to make sure that we're fully robust in where we're going with the business plan as we need to be moving forward. Thank you.
We wouldn't be doing our job unless you'd asked the question. Ivor, then Stephen.
Chair, it's down to similar sort of areas of information so that we can get a better picture of it. My reading of the financial summary is that we're looking at £5 million extra in turnover. Now, there used to be an old farmer that went to the bank every week, and he took a £10 note with him, and he put it over, and he got 2 fivers back. And somebody said, "Why do you do that?" Well, it's turnover. So turnover doesn't actually make you more efficient, better working or anything. We look at the figures, the subcontracted for the external, if I'm reading this right, we're going from 13 million up to 18. So that's your 5 million, of which roughly is it 3.3 million of that's going to external contractors. There'll also be inflation in these figures. Now, I don't know what rate of inflation, but if we say a ballpark of 2%, if you take out the contractors, you might be looking at about £1 million worth of inflation in there over and above what we've got. So we're down to about £700,000 extra work at today's value. If you look at the profit that we're looking to put back in, because maybe it's not the proper way to look at it, but that's how I look at it. The money going back is 257,000, etc. But we're getting an extra 214,000 from the centre. So the difference is 42,000 extra pounds that are going back. Now, on the return of a £5 million uplift in turnover, is 42,000 deemed acceptable?
Aye.
We've looked at this, and I can fully understand what you're saying in relation to, are we setting the bar high enough? Are we looking to make, should we be looking to make more? We've certainly tied in our net contributions in line with the additional income targets that have been set by the elected members as part of the budgetary process. So taking your point is very valid. Should we go higher? It could be set higher. I'm a great believer in walking before we run, and I think the figures that we have presented within the summary financial plan are achievable and deliverable to the council. And if more business comes our way, then potentially those figures will go considerably higher.
Okay.
Does it not also prove that by using outside contractors more, we would make more money?
But if we use outside contractors, at least they're keeping their job and they're paying their money into the local economy as well. So there's a double win, if you know what I mean. Roy, do you want to add anything to that?
No, Chair, your point is absolutely credible. It's what I want to do is keep as much of the money that is within Dumfries and Galloway from contracts and other works in Dumfries and Galloway. And if there is works within neighbouring local authorities that we can lay our hands on through the procurement and tendering process, and working with these companies who perhaps could not get access to these contracts through PCS, allowing them to get that business, and it still brings more income into this authority from business that would not normally have been their core facility.
One of the other things is we don't want to be tendering ourselves out of the market, and one of the main sort of issues that people are looking at now, especially seeing very high good projects, good tendering projects, is quality of actual work and quality actually where that actually helps the local economy as well. So we do. I understand what you're saying. We're trying to get best buck out of the tendering process and making sure that we can deliver the projects, but we also want to make sure that we're in a position where we actually get the projects, deliver that locally with subcontractors who come from local, but also get a good quality product, so then people will see us as a place to come in any future contracts. Stephen?
Yeah, thank you. Sort of a variation on a theme, I think, but just looking at the summary financial plan and also the page 15, where it's got where you've got the figures in one and you've got the bullet points in the other. And I'm looking at that, and it does highlight that the aim is to sustain the workforce rather than increase it. This would be within the enterprise and council, I'm assuming. And there's a wee one at the bottom there just about allocating surplus profit or profit, I'm not sure, over and above that already committed to the council. How much of a say are members going to have, or where will it come to in terms of whenever we're reviewing the figures, in terms of how much we decide ought to be reinvested either to the council or back into enterprise and D&G? And how much is, where does the locus of control over that surplus sit? And the other thing is, I'm looking at the summary financial plan. This is the numbers this time. And thanks to Ivor for asking that wee bit about what the net contribution back to the council was made up from. That's 12% extra money over 3 years, so you've got an extra 4.5 million-ish going to subcontractors into the local economy. How many jobs does that equate to? I mean, obviously this is all in line with the wider benefits to the region and the council's priorities, but that's either going to be 4.5 million extra amount of work done over and above what the contractors would be doing already. So I'm assuming they need to employ people. So will we see a net? What are anticipated benefits in terms of increasing employment? Where that fits in with the anti-poverty strategy? Where does that all fit in? Because I've not had time to sort of really fully digest this and where it sits with. I'm not on EEI, for example, so I don't know where it sits in the full context.
I think with regard to looking at where the actual reporting goes to, obviously DG Enterprise and DG Subcommittee or Enterprise and Subcommittee will get, regular updates. However, EE&I will get their 6-monthly report, I would imagine, from the subcommittee.
Chair and members, the intention is that the subcommittee within EEI will be the committee and band of members that holds the head of service to account on the delivery and performance of the business plan, the commercial business plan. So members on that subcommittee will have a clear view of performance, how it's performing, and the outcomes that it achieves. There'll be recommendations made to the main committee.
Can you answer the question on the 4.5 million?
In relation to the growth, I think what we would be wanting to see is the employment from the figure that we've detailed in relation to increased business going to local subcontractors, I'm sure will have a direct impact on increasing employability, making these companies more robust and to sustain their longevity within the region. So it's a difficult one to put numbers of people, because obviously every business, every subcontractor, whether that's a 1, 2, as I said, man painting firm to some of the larger surfacing and other companies that we operate with. But anything we can do to help them support and grow their business is going to allow the potential for growth and expansion of the number of people they have in their business. And they will, I am sure, grow with us as we find and win more opportunities to be able to deliver on these projects, because they're not just going to come one at a time. I'm sure they will develop and have that benefit as well. So it's about growing and sustaining the economy for the longer term of Dumfries and Galloway.
I just add something on one of the bullet points that I mentioned earlier on was looking at the Centre of Excellence for Commercialism and the opportunity, I think, for being a Centre of Excellence for ensuring training and skills development for our younger people in those. The business plan does take that into account and also bringing the opportunity for our subcontractors to be involved in that training.
Absolutely, Chair. There's within the team there's a real passion and drive about growing our own apprenticeships, giving opportunities, workplace experience opportunities, and a lot of the contracts and the business activity we already have. There is requirements that we show a true and genuine strategy for helping and supporting the new future stars of the industry to come in the door at the very beginning and grow and get that qualification. The Centre of Excellence is about that, but the Centre of Excellence is also about bringing the ability and the knowledge from other elements of our council, as one council, to the table, so that we pick up ideas, we share knowledge, we share experiences, and we look for betterments and efficiencies very much around the processes that go into the day-to-day activities. Someone may well sit within another part of our council that has got that golden idea that we just need to allow us to develop yet again another strategy, a means to find a trading opportunity that will help benefit not only our council but the wider population of the businesses that we work with. So it's all about having the ability to have dialogue and communication, but also looking and linking into the training aspects and allowing the local contractors that we work with that an equivalent access to the type of training that we deliver to our own people.
Do you want to come back in, Stephen?
Thanks, Chair. Just briefly, no, thanks, Ronnie, for that, and good luck finding these golden eggs that are lying about in mysterious places. But I'm just sort of, I'm sort of hopeful but sceptical, I suppose. So there's a 4.5 million quid increase. I'm just sort of thinking, if I see this as in terms of the local economy has grown by 4.5 million because we're subcontracting extra stuff, are we going to see a burgeoning region where lots of services are getting delivered both by ourselves and subcontractors, etc.? Or are we going to see that we're actually taking out 4.5 million of the market share of available opportunities? Do you know what I mean? I think there's a number of ways to look at it, and we don't really know how it's going to pan out, or what the actual benefit to the region as a whole is. And if we're going to sustain subcontractors, I think there's a caution there about maybe building up a dependency, because we wouldn't want to see contractors becoming too reliant on the fact that, you know, oh, there's an extra 4.5 million going out to contractors, let's base our business model around that, and fall into dependent habits. So that would be my sort of cautionary concern.
If I could come in on that, because I mean, I think a wee bit different for that, because at the moment our small subcontractors may not be able to apply for the tender because of the size of them, and it may be contracts out with the region as well as within the region. So therefore, our subcontractors will benefit from being involved in a bigger organisation such as the Enterprise and D&G Council, and will be able to, you know, assist us in delivering a project that we have tendered for. It may be that that subcontractor would never had that chance before. So therefore, the opportunities, I think, are a positive thing for our subcontractors. But Ronnie, I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, Chair, again, I think you've covered it well, but I do share I honestly believe as this grows and develops, we will see a market change with the subcontractors and the business that we work. They will grow in themselves, and they will then be going for their own type of business. This is not about us taking that additional income out of the economy that was going to be going to these small businesses. This is about finding additional income from opportunities within Dumfries and Galloway, but also, as I say, out with that would allow them to grow their business as well. And it may come to a point in their business profiling that their dependency drifts away elsewhere, and then the next role of local businesses come in behind them and start filling that gap. It's ensuring that we have as many people working with us to deliver this, because without them, we can't grow the business the way we're wanting to do it. So there is an interdependency between both the council and the SMEs, and the SMEs and the council.
Craig, you want to come in?
Thank you, Chair. It's just a question really about the relationship of the department and how closely you liaise with or have meetings with the Economic Development Department within EEI. And the reasoning behind that, Chair, is I sit on the board of the Supplier Development Programme through my position in EEI. And this week, the Supplier Development Programme have hosted a Meet the Buyer event at Murrayfield. And it has been the biggest Meet the Buyer event in the UK. And I was just wondering, because of that, has anybody from Enterprise and DG been at that event and therefore seeking contacts and future available work from that? Because it was the biggest in the UK, and the amount of buyers, etc., the list of them was phenomenal. And you know, that is a link, that was an opportunity in my mind that we could have been there and sourced future income. And again, that link would come through economic development in the first place.
Ronnie?
I think that's one of the great benefits now of all being under one directorate, having the ability to get that knowledge, the information sharing between the heads of service within EI now. It's just on a different scale to what was previously there before and under Alistair's tenure. We weren't at that one, but we go to a lot of these ones. You know, we go to a lot of meet the buyer organisations, particularly around stuff we're doing just now with some of the major organisations that are looking to invest in Dumfries and Galloway. We're going to their buyer events so that we can make ourselves known so that they know who Enterprising DG is, and it's part of the council and the activity we do. So we look at everyone and we make resources available as best we can to get these, but we certainly target it to the knowledge base of what business is likely to be within our neck of the woods that's going to fall into the activities within the commercial development plan that allows us then to target any tender activity or offers of business that we can live with.
Alistair, do you want to?
Yeah, this is a very key point, and the whole theme of the reshaping under the Chief Executive is one council, all pulling in the same direction and working together. And we made this point very clear at our business plan seminar on Monday, that as a management, we must work with each other, but as well as that, we must work with other management teams across the council. And one of the key elements of the matching process for directors and for heads of service and the next management level is this ability to roam. And we must show evidence in our performance that we are working across partners. And that's absolutely key, and that's something I hope the committee will hold us to account on as we measure our progress throughout the year.
Thank you. Can we go on to the recommendations then? Members are asked to note 2.1, the draft Enterprise DG Commercial Development Plan, 2.2, Enterprise and DGFirst Management Structure aligned to support and deliver Commercial Development Plan, and 2.3, the Enterprise and DG Commercial Development Plan will be presented to the Economy, Environment and Infrastructure Committee on the 14th of June 2006 for approval. Everybody happy with that? Okay. Any other business? And as members will know, this is the final DGFirst Management Committee for DGFirst. DGFirst has achieved a huge transformational change from when I took the chair of this committee a few years ago. There have been many challenges and difficult discussions, but there's also been huge elements of success for the service as well. The service continues to change and evolve as they relocate in the Economy, Environment and Infrastructure, the new Communities Directive, and the Children, Young People and Lifelong Learning Directive, as well as Integrated Health and Social Care Service. I would like to take this opportunity on your behalf to thank all the service teams, operational staff and management within DGFirst for their efforts and commitments over the years, and I would wish staff every success in their continuing careers. I'd also like to take this opportunity to wish Enterprise and Services every success in their exciting new venture. Can I personally thank all members who have been on DGFirst committee for their scrutiny, their governance, their challenge, which I think has seen that move forward. And I'll ask Alistair if he wishes to make any comment, and then Ronnie if he wants to.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I mean, this is the start of I think, a great opportunity for the Council in its new reshape. Members have been very supportive of it. I think I would like to thank, on behalf of all the staff in DGFirst, thank the Chair and Vice Chair for their leadership and for the support that members have given DGFirst. They are at the front face. They generally are at the front face, and they are the staff that our customers see regularly, and they do their work and their functions in the most sometimes worst weather we could ever imagine, without complaint, within performance targets. That there are issues and challenges, as in any business, but generally performance is good, and I think they have done the Council proud over the past years, and that has been done with your support as officers.
Thank you, Alistair. Ronnie?
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of all the staff, workforce within DGFirst and now Enterprise DG, I'd just like to thank both you, Chair, help and support, and the committee. It's been a challenging committee, it's been a fun committee to work with. We've had over the years, you've held us to account, and it has been Just on one last point here, I've just had a text sent to me, and if I can share with members. The Association of Public Sector Excellence is holding its annual AGM today up in Glasgow. Dumfries and Galloway was approached if we would consider, if so nominated by other authorities, to consider taking on the role of an exemplar of in commercialism across Scotland, and we have been nominated by some of our fellow authorities this morning to take on that role, and our chair has kindly offered to take that post, and he will be assisted by members of EI Enterprise and DG staff in delivering that role. So Dumfries and Galloway is being very much recognised for its role in commercialism as a shining light across Scotland and how we're taking things forward. So I'd like to thank the chair now as we move forward to the new enterprising DG subcommittee. I've not got rid of him yet, but he's now got another role that I'll be more than happy to work with him on, and I thank him for taking that point. So again, thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, and I look forward to working with other councils and try to have the same standards as us when it comes to enterprising the council, yes.
Chair, I think the members around the table, as well as yourself, would like to echo the points you've put. I know I've asked some awkward questions, and the officers have always been good enough to address the situation and give me confidence that that my concerns can be addressed. Could I also thank yourself and Councillor Martin? You've made the committee informative and enjoyable as well.
Thank you very much, Colin. Well, I'd now like to formally close this final DGFirst Management Committee. We can't forget the staff to our left and our clerk for doing all the work that they do, and we'll hope to see you in the future under that new chapter of Enterprise and DG Council. Thank you very much.